Welcome to Scholars Academy. Have you ever considered how a simple bowl of food physically transforms into the biological energy required to power your entire body? This animation shows the macro journey of the carbohydrates you eat. After digestion, that food breaks down into basic glucose molecules. Those molecules flow alongside oxygen right through your bloodstream, traveling until they arrive at their final destination, a single cell. Zooming into the cell, we find the baseline requirement for human energy production. To function properly, the cell's internal power plant, the mitochondrion, must continuously absorb both that glucose and the oxygen. Once the mitochondrion processes those inputs, it produces these glowing battery icons. This is ATP, or adenosine triphosphate. It is the literal energy currency of the body, actively stored and spent to keep you moving. Tracing the path of this microscopic battery reveals the blueprint for how every living organism sustains itself. This split-screen diagram lays out our two precise geographic locations for aerobic respiration, the cell's fluid cytoplasm on the left and the structured mitochondrion on the right. Step 1 happens strictly on the left side, in the cytoplasm. In a process called glycolysis, a molecule of glucose breaks apart into pyruvic acid. This reaction ejects a small amount of ATP, along with an energy coupon called NADH2. But the pyruvic acid can't cross the border into the mitochondrion as it is. It first drifts to the center line and morphs into acetyl coenzyme A. Once converted, it is finally allowed to cross the barrier to the right side. Now for step 2. Inside the mitochondrion, the acetyl part enters the Krebs cycle. It is completely oxidized through this spinning chain of reactions. It ejects carbon dioxide and water as waste and produces a large pile of NADH2 and FADH2 coupons. Step 3 is the electron transfer chain. Those NADH2 and FADH2 molecules aren't usable energy on their own. They have to be cashed in at this final machine, rapidly converting into a massive, highly usable stack of ATP batteries. Let's test this conversion. The standard rate is 3 ATP for every NADH2 and 2 ATP for every FADH2. If you have 2 molecules of NADH2 and 1 molecule of FADH2, that yields a total of 8 ATP from the chain. Aerobic respiration is a highly efficient multi-stage factory line designed entirely to extract the absolute maximum amount of energy from a single piece of food. This new flowchart illustrates what happens when oxygen is completely absent. Without oxygen, the pathway to the mitochondrion is blocked. The cell performs anaerobic respiration, skipping the Krebs cycle entirely. Instead, the pyruvic acid diverges down a fermentation path, turning into lactic acid. Because glucose is incompletely oxidized here, it yields far less ATP. And that lactic acid buildup is the exact reason your muscles feel heavy and fatigued during intense exercise. Your body also has backup fuels. During periods of fasting, the cell utilizes lipids, converting them to fatty acids, and proteins, converting them to amino acids. Notice how both of these pathways route directly into the acetyl-CoA stage, skipping glycolysis altogether. The harvested ATP provides the mechanical power for the cell's most intensive task, division. From the replication of DNA to the physical separation of chromosomes in mitosis and meiosis, every cellular movement is powered by this energy. Whether it is healing a minor cut through mitosis or passing on your genetics through meiosis, the cellular energy factory makes all biological continuity possible. This summary map reveals how carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins, despite starting as completely different fuel sources, are all funneling down into the exact same energy-producing engine. Notice that acetyl coenzyme A is the central hub. Every nutrient must reach the specific molecular form to enter the mitochondria and release its full energy potential. Now, let's put it to the test with 3 high-yield questions for the SSC board exam. Question 1. Give the scientific reason why oxygen is strictly necessary for the complete oxidation of glucose. The model answer: without oxygen, glucose is incompletely oxidized through fermentation, resulting in less ATP compared to aerobic respiration. Question 2. Why do plants and animals sometimes perform anaerobic respiration? The answer is survival during oxygen depletion. Seeds submerged underwater, or human muscles undergoing intense exercise, must resort to anaerobic pathways to maintain basic energy production. Question 3. Distinguish between mitosis and meiosis. State clearly that mitosis occurs in somatic cells, maintains a diploid 2N state, and yields 2 identical cells. Meiosis occurs in germ cells, creates a haploid N state, and yields 4 unique cells. You have the framework, but repetition is key. Keep studying and be sure to download the official notes below to continue drilling these concepts. These chemical pathways are the mechanisms that translate food into the growth and maintenance